talk of the town. We're the artists, the actresses, the filmmakers to meet in Venus. Yeah, we're coming through. Shine your light, let your voices be heard. We're spreading love with every single word, from the stage to the screen. We're making our mark, meeting Venus. Together we embark.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm very happy to welcome actress Lupe Cambiasso. Hi, Lupe. How is everything? Thank you for
How are
joining the
you?
live. Thank you very much for accepting the interview. Very happy to welcome you today. First, tell me a little bit about growing up in Argentina and what was your inspiration to pursue acting and arts?
Well, first, thank you for having me. My name is pronounced Lupe, not Lupi, Lupe. I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I've been an actress all my life. I've been studying acting since I was 15 years old. And for some reason, I always wanted to come to Los Angeles to pursue acting. But then, life takes does whatever she wants with you. And after many years, I got the chance to actually travel to Los Angeles to study acting here, and I fell in love with the city and the acting technique. So I thought, okay, I think I want to live there. So I gathered everything I needed to get my artist visa, and I moved here.
When did you move to LA?
I moved 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Tell me a little bit about your work in Argentina before you decided to make this move, and what interesting work did you did, because Argentina has very rich heritage in cinema, television, and theater as well. So tell me a little bit about your experience there, and then we can speak about your work in Hollywood.
Yeah, Argentina it's amazing, especially in theater. I grew up acting in theater and studying and reading a lot of different plays, and I actually got the title of as a drama teacher. I think Buenos Aires is amazing. It's a very multicultural city, and you have a lot of opportunities. Think for me was like I worked in theater a lot. I did a few short films, but the opportunity to get like into TV, for example, or cinema is very narrow. It's very difficult. You need to get to know people that be interested in working with you. The access to the auditions is not as wide as here in Los Angeles. So I've been working a lot, but I wasn't like actually making a living. I wasn't earning that much money working in theater, So when I arrived in Los Angeles for the first time, I came here to first study acting, and I got to know the city and how everything worked here. How do you have to have an agent? Where do you get your auditions? And that was very helpful for me to actually build how the trip and the move to Los Angeles was going to be in the future.
Mm-hmm. I've been following a lot of Argentinian films, and a lot of films were nominated for the Oscars, or like El Secreto de sus Ojos. Recently, Argentina, 1985, recently, and Relatos Salvajes, La Historia Oficial. So, and Brazilian cinema as well, Colombian cinema, a lot of popularity around the world. And I remember when I used to go to juries in festivals as well, a lot of Latino films. Do you think this helped the production in Argentina? I mean, getting an Oscar, or as far as I know, being here in Ecuador, there are a lot of economic challenges in Argentina as well, and I know that economic challenges, reflects on the cinema and television industry, and also on actors and creators like yourself.
Yes, yes. When you see films from Argentina, you see mostly the same actors over and over,
Mm-hmm,
uh, which is great because they are great actors and they deserve to work.
mm-hmm,
Uh, but you don't see often new faces,
mm-hmm,
or I guess the investment on cinema industry is little. So I think the prestige that an Oscar could give, or being in festivals around the world give to the
mm-hmm,
productions in Argentina is great for them to keep making movies.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I wish they had more access to people that are not famous, you know?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, and of course, the movies during the writing process, I mean, before production, they are imagining certain actors in these characters. So even before the casting, like you mentioned, there are certain actors in the imagination of the filmmakers. I mean, the screenwriter and director. And so maybe actors and actresses from other generation, they wouldn't get a chance as well to be cast, right?
of course, yeah, and I understand that it's also an economical choice,
Mm-hmm,
because if they have a very well-known actor working for them, it's going to be easier to sell the movie, or to get audiences to be interested in watching that movie. So I understand that it's always the economical factor. um, but I think in Los Angeles there are more opportunities, and you can get auditions for great roles, for great TV shows and movies, even if you're not especially famous. You know what I'm saying? Is what
yes,
happened to me.
yes,
I'm not famous, and I've been working all these years in Los Angeles. And last year I had the chance to audition for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
yes.
It's
But,
not
but
that they're looking for a famous actress to play that part.
yes, but tell me, when you decided to go to Argentina, from Argentina to America, tell me a little bit. How did you transfer the information to your family, friends, and they were worried about you, or what happened?
Yeah, yes. I'm the only child of my mom, so I
Really?
think for her it was a little harder to
Mhm,
let me go.
mhm,
But as I told you, I always dreamt about
mhm,
coming to Los Angeles. So I guess they all knew, you
mhm,
know, when I told them like, hey, I'm trying to get information about the artist visa, how to move to Los Angeles. They were like, oh yeah, yeah, we always knew that you were going to do that. But
mhm.
then from thinking about it, or from dreaming about that, and then like actually making the move and actually travel here and actually getting an agent and start working, it was a huge whoa, you know
Yes,
like everything in theory is pretty and dreamy, but then when you see that actually becoming a reality, that's very shocking in a good way.
yes. So arriving in Los Angeles, did you have a project or something you wanted to go, or did you travel and you started to look for opportunities?
Yeah, I had a few projects. That's why when you apply for the artist visa, you need to
Yes.
have at least 2 or 3 projects to work on as soon as you arrive here. Um, that's why they give you the visa for,
Mm-hmm,
is because you have projects here. So
Hmm.
yeah, when I arrived, I've done a few things, um, but then immediately the pandemic started.
Ah.
So I was only able to work here for 6 months before the pandemic. It was kind of hard.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then after the pandemic, when everything resumed again, I booked a lot of commercials and I worked on theater, and yeah, everything kind of like started moving again.
Move. Yes, yes.
So
Uh,
some of the projects that I was going to do, they fell because of the pandemic.
for sure, for sure. Matt, tell me a little bit about your recent roles because I've seen a lot of reviews about Dark Angels and Curb Your Enthusiasm. So tell me a little bit about your characters and how did you research them and the reception of these characters right now.
Well, for Curb Enthusiasm, when I got the audition, they give you like a breakdown of what's the character, what's the scene about. But the thing about Curb, I don't know if you know this, there's no script.
Hmm.
Everything is improvised. I mean, there is a like a guideline of this is what happens in the scene, and they give you maybe one or two lines to put it on a context. But then when you shoot it, it's actually improvised. So you never know what the other character will say, and maybe in different takes you make different choices and say different lines. So you never know which one they are going to use at the end, you know.
Yes.
And I studied acting at Stella Adler Academy of Acting, and they have a great technique. And mostly it's about building a character and how to become a good character character actor. So when I had to approach that character, I was ready for it. I've done my research for a few days, and I tried to think about the circumstances of this character living in the life and the house of this weird person, which is Larry David.
Hmm.
um, so that was amazing. And then for the other movie, I played a woman, the mother of a kid who was possessed by demons, and I was trying to call this I don't know the name, como exorcistas,
See, Exorcist. Yes.
so they can take the demon out of my kid's body. But for
Yeah.
this movie, it was a sudden change. Like they called me from one day to the other, so I didn't have so much time to actually prepare the character because it was like, okay, Lupe, we need you in Vegas.
Hmm.
Um, but then when I was there, there was a script, so I could at least work on the lines and the other characters and my circumstances with my daughter. So that was like on the go, you know.
Yeah, but tell me about improvisation. Was it difficult for you to improvise your lines in English and especially in American slang, or
Yeah,
did it come to you naturally? Because I think it's a little bit challenging, and because you need to have some catchphrases and punchlines and to make the people laugh and to react to the other actors. So tell me about your experience in that.
yeah, and then I like improvising, and of course, improvising in your own language is much easier than in another language. So I was a
Mhm.
little worried that funny things would come out from my mouth. You know, I was like, okay, I'm working with the king of comedy. I need to be funny. They are asking me not to try to be funny. So I was like, okay. So I kind of like let go and played along with my scene partner, which mostly was Larry. Um, and I don't know, I think I was like, you know, when you feel like you are out of your body. So I kind of like felt like I was out of my body and my body was going with the flow. I wasn't like
Mhm.
thinking too much. And I think that made me being really present and being able to like actually being funny without trying to.
Yes. Tommy, ¿quieres decir algo a tus amigos, familia en Argentina? sobre tu carrera ahora en Estados Unidos y cómo te sientes.
Hablo permanentemente con mis amigos y familia y
Ujú,
ellos saben todo lo que me costó estar acá y saben el amor que le tengo a mi profesión y sé que están orgullosos y felices porque estoy haciendo lo que me gusta, lo que amo
ujú.
y porque creo en mí. Si no, es muy difícil tomar un paso como este, de dejar tu país, tu ciudad, tus amigos, tu familia, por un sueño. Necesitas creer en vos. Así que
Mhm.
espero ser una inspiración para mis amigos en Argentina.
You know, regarding horror films and exorcism, I see a lot of them, and sometimes with my wife, she tells me, ¿por qué pone esta películas para nosotros? And we've been watching 3 weeks ago Long Legs with Nicolas Cage. And she be saying, ¿por qué pone películas de demonio en la noche? Okay, why do you put? Okay, but and of course, I've been reading a lot about film history even before.
I'm not hearing you. Can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but I don't hear you. Sharif, I can't hear you. I don't know if you hear me. I just sent you a message in the chat. I'm sending you an email to let you know that I cannot hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. If people logged in can hear me, tell Sharif I cannot hear him.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Now I can hear.
Yes, I think I was disconnected because I spoke about horror films.
Yeah, that was a spooky, my friend.
So what I wanted to ask you regarding filmmaking, I used to read a lot about making of horror films. You know, even before the internet times, through books and magazines. And you know about the actor experience when you do a horror films. Do you face certain challenge in these characters? Do they go back with you at home before the days of shooting? So tell me a little bit about doing a genre films and if anything spooky happened at the film set as well.
Uh, no, I don't remember anything spooky happening really. Um,
Hmm.
I was working with a lot of great actors on that movie, and I was a little overwhelmed because I was
Hmm.
surrounded by them, and I was the only woman. And I think my scenes were the opening of the movie,
Hmm.
where they said that exorcism, and so you get to know the characters, and then the characters and the story goes somewhere else. Um, but it was great because we had a scene where my daughter was in the bed, and she was kind of like starting to float, suspended like by the demon. So everyone was trying like to do this with their eyes, and our faces and everything was like, it was pretty comical. So I guess I don't think you are feeling terror or horror when you are shooting a horror movie, because you know it's a
Yes.
movie, and you
Hmm.
know you see everyone behind the camera. So you need to pretend that you are scared.
Yes.
In
But
my case, sorry,
mhm,
in my case, seeing actually, they were actually lifting the little girl, the
mhm,
actress. So we were actually seeing that happen. That
mhm.
was that was great for us to actually see that and not only imagine it. But yeah, I guess you
Yes.
have to imagine sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Did you meet a certain agent that they want you to change your name for because it happened to a lot of American actors, maybe Harrison Ford as well. When he started his career, to be, I mean, more accessible for the American audience, or you didn't meet this circumstance?
No, my full name is Guadalupe. So
Lupe.
In
Hmm.
Argentina, I used to be called Wada or Wadi, but
Wally. Hmm.
in here in English would have sound Wada. Oh, so
Yes,
I didn't like it, so I decided to go with the last part of my name, which is Lupe.
Lupe. Lupe.
But if people calls me Lupi, that means crazy.
Ah, Loca.
When people kind of like pretend to be mistaken and they say Lupi, I'm like, I'm Lupe. I'm
Lupe with an
a
accent.
little
Yes,
loopy too, but I'm Lupe.
yes. Right now, Lupe, do you have a certain advice for actors, especially from Latin America or Argentina, who would like to take the same path as you, like go to the United States, maybe Europe, to venture into an artistic career? Do you have a certain advice according to your own experience and challenges?
Um, I'd say like trust, trust your talent, believe in yourself,
Hmm.
and don't give up and work hard because this is not easy, and you need to be certain to love what you do
Sure.
in order to commit this deep and make a move like this.
Hmm.
It's not easy, but it's possible. It's not
It's
impossible.
it's not impossible.
It's not
Great.
impossible. Yeah.
And right now, do you have certain? I know one of your dreams was to go to America. Like the movie Coming to America. And but I want to ask you: do you have certain dreams or a dream character you'd like to perform in the future, or a dream project you would like to realize?
um I love comedy,
Mm-hmm.
but I love drama as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to play like a mean character, like
Mm-hmm.
the villain.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
And, but I'm okay with everything. Like
Yeah.
I love acting. So I don't think I have like one dream character because I want to play them all. I would like
Good.
I be every single day of my life creating characters and working on movies or TV or theater. So yeah, I want to explore them all.
Great. I wish you all the best in your upcoming projects, and congratulations for the success of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I hope we can receive you another time when you have a new project to announce.
Of course, I will call you then. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, Lupe.
De nada.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.